Do you ever wonder how language came to be? This is one of life's greatest mysteries. I mean, think about it. Because language exists, we can typically gauge someone's intelligence pretty quickly. You can have a quick conversation with someone and you'll know within the first 10 seconds if this person is an absolute moron just by how they communicate back to you. But what about cavemen? Did the sound of a random grunt reveal intelligence to the other cavemen? This is a thing that has me confused and amazed all at the same time. And the more I think about it, the crazier it seems. It's like the old chicken or the egg dilemma to me. How the hell did someone come up with the first word ever spoken and then know how to explain that idea to the other person that this first word would mean whatever it was? And then the next word, and then the next, until they can build full-on coherent sentences. I can imagine a couple of cavemen sitting around a fire, looking at a random drawing on the wall, and then after spending a few hours grunting at each other, and then all of a sudden breaking out in some full-blown conversation together. Ah yes, I agree. That exquisite specimen of woolly mammoth down yonder by the spring would make a fine meal. Let us make haste and begin our hunt so that we may bring sustenance to our tribe with nutrient-dense food. I mean, who the hell knows, right? So, I wanted to go down and figure this out. So I thought I'd go down a rabbit hole of a Google search to see what the internet would come up with. And then I learned that my speculation is not all that far off from the truth. According to Noam Chomsky, a single mutation theory, the emergence of language resembled the formation of a crystal. Thus, in this theory, language appeared rather suddenly within the history of human evolution. Chomsky, writing with a computational linguist and computer scientist Robert C. Berwick, suggests that this scenario is completely compatible with modern biology. So in other words, grunting to full-blown speech is apparently not too far off from the truth as far as I can tell. How cool is that? And what the hell language would it have been? And how did it go from whatever that was and evolve into 7,000 living languages we have today? If I had a time machine, I would go back to the exact moment when the mumbling turned into words. Like, what did they talk about? I want to be a fly on that wall. Since no one really knows, I'd like to think that this is how the first conversation that took place went. First off, it would suck ruthless balls to be alive in that time period for one. You had dinosaurs and all types of shit that could ruin your life in 5 seconds. So I would imagine that the conversation would have probably been something about how crappy life was, because everything around them at the time was probably trying to kill them. Like, hey man, how's your day going so far? Pretty shitty, my friend. I got my arm bitten off in my sleep last night, so that kinda sucked. How's your day going? Same, dude. My little brother got snatched last night. That's like the 27th brother I lost this week. So then they would decide to talk about how to build tools and weapons to protect themselves. From that conversation came instructions on how to produce warhammers, spears, and other pointy things to stab things with. Once weapons were made, they needed to create some sort of caveman martial arts system so that they could defeat those unfairly large beasts on the battlefield. It'd be like Attack on the Titans fighting strategy, except with wooden spears with stone tips and rope made with caveman hair. Once all of that was said and done, the caveman would then chill for a second, but not for long, as they would need to rapidly reproduce because someone in their tribe was probably getting eaten every 15 seconds from some saber-toothed tiger or a freaking T-Rex or some other godforsaken creature. So now the focus would shift into learning how to spit game to caveman girls. They'd walk up to a nice, beautiful, hairy caveman or cave woman with the thickest unibrow in the crowd and say, "Hey baby, that's some nice chest hair you got there. I'd like to take refuge on your bosoms tonight and use those fun bags like a fluffy pillow." And then it would be on and cracking because that cave woman wouldn't know what to do with herself besides obviously throw herself at him, demanding offsprings after spitting fire like that. And that would be it. All of these amazing techniques would be passed down from generation to generation until they would break off and explore and meet other cave tribes, have crazy caveman orgies, and reproduce like rabbits. From there, would change a little bit and become more sophisticated. And then the next thing you know, here we are. 7,000 living languages later. It's fascinating to think about. You're welcome.